Hello, my name is Erin Krieger and I'm a physics teacher at McLean High School. I'm going to demonstrate one of the distance learning tools that your student may be using. PearDeck is a tool that is already being used by many of our teachers in the classroom. PearDeck is a platform that allows students to view presentation slides that the teacher might be presenting, but it also adds a level of interaction that students cannot get just from simply flipping through a PowerPoint. PearDeck allows students to interact with questions and activities within the presentation slides themselves. PearDecks can be easily modified for distance learning using something called the student self-paced mode. Teachers will assign PearDecks in this mode and then send these PearDecks out to the students, and this means that students can work through the lecture and the presentation at their own pace and utilize the activities embedded within the presentation to self-assess their learning. This is an example of what a student may see if they are assigned a self-paced PearDeck activity. Students can use these arrows at the bottom of the screen to progress forward through these slides. I've started this lesson with a review of information from the previous activity. Students can watch these videos that are embedded within the slide for a brief review of the lesson, and when they are ready, they can move forward. This is an example of one of the interactive slides where students can answer questions about their learning. The great thing about student self-paced PearDecks is that the students can always go backwards in the slides to review things that they may have missed or gone over too quickly. So if a student sees this question and realizes that maybe they do need to go back and review the content, they can always move backwards and review the information. This is an interactive slide where students can type a number as their answer, and this is a slide where students can type or draw on the slide directly in order to answer the questions. So there are a lot of different ways that students can answer questions. Not every slide is going to have an interactive portion on it. Sometimes these PearDecks can just act like a typical slide where students can read instructions or information. So here, students are getting instructions for an online simulation, and within PearDeck, they can have direct access to that activity. So for science, this could be an online simulation, but for a history class, it could be an article. For English, it could be an essay. It could be any type of website, article, or digital tool that the teacher might want the student to have access to. Students can then answer questions about the digital tool that they just explored. Using the PearDeck student-paced modes has a lot of benefits. The first one is that unlike a live lecture, students can work through this lesson at their own pace. They can move forward and backwards through slides as they wish. This integrated assessment questions give students a chance to reflect on their own learning. And they can always go back to earlier slides to review earlier content so that they know that they are getting the questions right. And finally, this PearDeck is not a one-way interaction. The teacher has an opportunity to give feedback to the students once they complete the lesson. At the end of the PearDeck activity, students will get a document called a takeaway shared directly to their Google Drive, which is a summary of the activity that they just did. The teacher automatically has shared access to this document. Students can use this document to organize their notes, but the teacher can also look through all of their answers and give comments or feedback directly to the students. So anytime students answer these questions, they can get direct feedback from the teacher in this summary document. So PearDeck student-paced mode is an excellent way for students and teachers to interact with each other, but it gives students the flexibility and freedom to work through the activities at their own pace.